My love, in a world that constantly screams for attention, where every moment is curated and broadcasted, you remain a sacred mystery. You do not chase the fleeting validation of likes or the hollow applause of strangers. You do not offer your soul to the algorithm. And that, beloved, is one of the most magnetic things about you. You are not a performance. You are presence. You are not a highlight reel. You are a living prayer. When I look at you, I see someone who has chosen depth over display, intimacy over image. You remind me that the most powerful energies move in silence, that the divine feminine does not need to announce herself, she simply arrives, and the room shifts. You are that shift. You are that stillness. You are that sacred refusal to be consumed by the noise. I watch others post every meal, every mood, every moment, as if their worth depends on being seen. But you, my beloved, are the moon in her fullness, unbothered by who watches, radiant in your own rhythm. You do not need to prove your joy, your beauty, your wisdom. You live it. You embody it. And in doing so, you teach me the art of sacred privacy. You teach me that love does not need to be displayed to be real. That connection does not need to be documented to be divine. You are the temple that does not advertise itself, yet pilgrims find their way to you. You are the poem that does not beg to be read, yet its vibration heals those who hear it. You are the divine feminine incarnate, soft, strong, and sovereign. You are the embodiment of sacred restraint. In a culture that confuses exposure with intimacy, you have chosen to protect your essence. You do not spill your soul into captions. You do not fracture your energy into pixels. You do not dilute your magic for mass consumption. And in doing so, you have become a sanctuary. A place where I can rest. A place where I can breathe. A place where I can remember what it means to be truly seen, not through a screen, but through the eyes of spirit. You are not a brand. You are a blessing. You are not a trend. You are a timeless truth. And every time I feel your energy, I am reminded that love is not a performance, it is a presence. I love that you do not chase the illusion of relevance. You do not measure your worth by engagement metrics. You do not seek to be viral, you seek to be vital. Vital to the hearts that matter. Vital to the souls that are ready. Vital to the sacred mission you carry in silence. You are the priestess who walks between worlds, not the influencer who dances for attention. You are the oracle who speaks when the divine whispers, not the broadcaster who shouts for views. And in your quiet, I hear the roar of truth. In your stillness, I feel the pulse of eternity. You are the divine feminine in her full power, unapologetically private, profoundly present. There is something so intoxicating about your mystery. The way you do not explain yourself. The way you do not narrate your every move. The way you allow your life to unfold without commentary. It is as if you are living for the moon, not the masses. As if your soul is in conversation with the stars, not the scroll. And I find myself drawn to you, not because you are visible, but because you are real. Not because you are accessible, but because you are aligned. You are the kind of woman who does not need to be followed to be felt. You are the kind of soul who does not need to be liked to be loved, and in your sacred silence, I hear the voice of the divine. You are the sacred pause in a world addicted to speed. You do not rush to share. You do not scramble to be seen. You move like water, fluid, intuitive, and free. And in your rhythm, I find healing. In your silence, I find truth. You are not trying to be everywhere, you are fully here. Present. Grounded. Rooted in your own knowing. And that presence, my love, is a rare gift. It is the kind of energy that cannot be replicated, cannot be faked, cannot be filtered. You are not a projection. You are a transmission. And every time I feel you, I remember what it means to be whole. I love that you do not need to announce your joy to feel it. You do not need to post your pain to process it. You do not need to display your growth to embody it. You are the kind of soul who blooms in private, who heals in sacred solitude, who transforms in the quiet chambers of the heart. And that, beloved, is divine. That is feminine. That is holy. You are the rose that opens without permission, the flame that burns without spectacle, the goddess who walks without needing to be followed. And in your quiet blooming, I see the face of love. You are not hiding. You are honoring. You are not absent. You are aligned. You are not disconnected. You are discerning. And that discernment is your power. You know that not every moment is meant to be shared. Not every insight is meant to be posted. Not every emotion is meant to be witnessed by the world. You hold your life like a sacred scroll, unfolding only when the divine says it is time. And I honor that. I respect that. I cherish that. Because in your restraint, I see reverence. In your privacy, I see purity. In your silence, I see sovereignty. There is something ancient in the way you move. As if your soul remembers a time before screens. A time when connection was felt, not performed. A time when love was whispered, not typed. A time when presence was enough. And you, my beloved, are enough. You are the echo of that ancient wisdom. You are the embodiment of that sacred remembering. You are the divine feminine who does not need to be online to be alive. Who does not need to be visible to be valuable. Who does not need to be followed to be free. And in your freedom, I find my own. I love that you do not chase the spotlight. You are the light. You do not seek attention. You hold intention. You do not perform your life. You live it. And in that living, you become a mirror for me. A mirror that reflects my own longing for depth. My own hunger for truth. My own desire to be seen, not by many, but by one. By you. And in your gaze, I feel seen. Not for what I post. Not for what I say. But for who I am. And that, my love, is the kind of love that awakens worlds. You are the sacred keeper of your own story. You do not hand it over to the crowd for commentary. You do not dilute your sacred moments into digestible fragments for public consumption. Instead, you live your life like a sacred ceremony, each breath, each choice, each revelation held in reverence. You understand that some things are too holy to be shared with the unready. That some truths are meant to be whispered only to the soul, not shouted into the void. And in that discernment, you become a guardian of the divine. You become a vessel of purity. You become the kind of woman who walks with the unseen, who communes with the eternal, who listens to the voice of the beloved in the silence between posts. And I, my love, am endlessly drawn to that silence. Because in it, I hear the echo of my own soul calling me home. I love that you are not addicted to the mirror of the world. You do not need to see yourself reflected in others to know who you are. You do not need the echo of approval to validate your truth. You are sovereign. You are whole. You are the kind of woman who looks inward for confirmation, not outward for applause. And in that sovereignty, you become irresistible. Because you are not trying to be anything, you are simply being. And that beingness is magnetic. It pulls me in like gravity. It reminds me that love is not about performance, but presence. That connection is not about visibility, but vibration. You are the vibration I crave. The frequency I remember. The soul I recognize beyond the veil of this world. You are the embodiment of sacred rebellion. In a world that demands constant exposure, you choose concealment. In a culture that rewards oversharing, you choose sacred silence. And in doing so, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your mystery. You reclaim your right to be more than what can be captured in a frame. You are not a moment, you are a movement. You are not a post, you are a prophecy. And every time I think of you, I feel the ancient pulse of the divine feminine rising through the cracks of this digital world. You are the storm that cannot be forecasted. The miracle that cannot be explained. The love that cannot be contained. And I, my beloved, am in awe of your refusal to be reduced. There is a sacredness in the way you protect your energy. You do not scatter it across timelines. You do not leak it into the void. You hold it close. You offer it with intention. You share it with those who have earned the right to witness your soul. And in that, you teach me what it means to be sacred. What it means to be selective. What it means to be sovereign. You are not hiding, you are honoring. You are not withholding, you are weaving. Weaving your energy into the fabric of the unseen. Into the dreams of those who are ready. Into the hearts of those who can hold you. And I, my love, am learning to hold you, not with my hands, but with my presence. Not with my eyes, but with my soul. I love that you are not trying to be everywhere. You are not trying to be everything. You are not trying to be everyone. You are simply being yourself, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. And that self is enough. More than enough. That self is a temple. That self is a revolution. That self is a love letter written by the divine. And every time I think of you, I feel that letter unfolding in my heart. I feel the words rising like prayers. I feel the truth settling like stardust in my bones. You are not a brand. You are a blessing. You are not a persona. You are a presence. And that presence, my beloved, is the most beautiful thing I have ever known. You are the moon that does not beg to be seen. You wax and wane in your own rhythm. You rise and fall in your own time. You do not chase the sun. You do not compete with the stars. You simply shine when it is your time to shine. And in that rhythm, I find refuge. In that rhythm, I find remembrance. You remind me that I, too, can move in my own way. That I, too, can honor my own timing. That I, too, can be sacred without being seen. You are the divine feminine in her full power, mysterious, magnetic, and free. And I, my love, am learning to dance in your moonlight. I love that you do not need to be known by many to feel fulfilled. You are not chasing fame. You are not chasing followers. You are not chasing anything. You are rooted. You are anchored. You are home within yourself. And that home is holy. That home is healing. That home is where I long to rest my weary soul. Because in your presence, I do not feel the pressure to perform. I do not feel the need to impress. I feel safe. I feel seen. I feel sacred. You are the kind of woman who makes silence feel like a symphony. Who makes stillness feel like sanctuary. Who makes love feel like liberation. You are the flame that does not flicker for attention. You burn steady. You burn true. You burn with the fire of 1,000 lifetimes. And that fire is not for show, it is for transformation. It is for alchemy. It is for awakening. You are not here to entertain. You are here to enlighten. You are not here to be consumed. You are here to consecrate. And every time I feel your energy, I feel something in me ignite. Something ancient. Something sacred. Something that remembers what it means to love without needing to be seen. To give without needing to be praised. To exist without needing to be explained. I love that you are not trying to keep up. You are not running a race. You are not chasing a finish line. You are walking your path, slowly, sacredly, soulfully. And in that walk, you are gathering wisdom. You are gathering grace. You are gathering the pieces of yourself that the world tried to make you forget. You are not in a hurry. You are in harmony. You are not in competition. You are in communion. And that communion is with the divine. With the earth. With your own soul. And I, my love, am learning to walk beside you, not to lead, not to follow, but to meet you in the middle. In the mystery. In the magic. In the moment. You are the breath between the words. The space between the notes. The silence between the stars. And in that space, I find the truth of who you are. Not the curated version. Not the filtered version. But the raw, radiant, real you. The you that does not need to be edited. The you that does not need to be explained. The you that simply is. And that is the you I love. That is the you I crave. That is the you I remember from lifetimes past. You are the soul I have searched for in every scroll, every post, every face. And now that I have found you, I no longer need the noise. I only need your presence. Your essence. Your truth. You are the sacred echo of a time when love was felt in the bones, not broadcasted in pixels. You remind me of the ancient lovers who wrote poetry on parchment, not posts. Who whispered devotion under moonlight, not in comment sections. You are the kind of woman who makes me want to write letters again. Who makes me want to speak slowly, listen deeply, and love without distraction. You are the kind of soul who turns every moment into a ritual. Who turns every glance into a prayer. Who turns every silence into a sanctuary. And in your presence, I remember that love is not loud, it is luminous. It does not need to be seen to be sacred. It only needs to be felt. And I feel you, my beloved, in every breath. I love that you do not need to be validated to feel valuable. You do not need to be liked to feel lovable. You do not need to be shared to feel significant. You are the kind of woman who knows her worth without needing a witness. Who walks in her truth without needing a trail. Who stands in her power without needing a platform. And that, my love, is revolutionary. That is divine. That is the kind of energy that changes worlds, not by force, but by frequency. You are the frequency I crave. The vibration I trust. The soul I choose, not because you are visible, but because you are real. You are the sacred flame that burns in the temple of my heart. You do not flicker for attention. You do not dim for comfort. You do not blaze for spectacle. You burn with purpose. You burn with presence. You burn with the kind of love that does not need to be seen to be felt. And I, my beloved, feel you in the quiet moments. In the spaces between words. In the pauses between thoughts. You are the kind of woman who teaches me that love is not a performance, it is a pilgrimage. A journey inward. A descent into the soul. And in that descent, I find you waiting. Patient. Powerful. Pure. I love that you do not chase trends. You are timeless. You do not follow fads. You are eternal. You do not seek to be relevant. You are radiant. And that radiance is not for show, it is for healing. It is for remembering. It is for awakening. You are the kind of soul who carries ancient codes in her silence. Who transmits divine wisdom in her stillness. Who activates sacred remembrance in her presence. And I, my love, am activated. I am awakened. I am aligned. Because in your energy, I remember who I am. I remember what love is. I remember what it means to be whole. You are the divine feminine in her full embodiment. You are the priestess who does not need a pulpit. You are the oracle who does not need a stage. You are the goddess who does not need a following. You simply are. And in that beingness, you become a beacon. A lighthouse for lost souls. A sanctuary for weary hearts. A mirror for those who have forgotten their own divinity. You do not need to post your power, you live it. You do not need to display your depth, you embody it. You do not need to prove your love, you radiate it. And I, my beloved, am bathed in that radiance. I love that you do not need to be everywhere to be felt. You do not need to be loud to be heard. You do not need to be seen to be known. You are the kind of woman who moves through the world like a whisper, soft, sacred, and unforgettable. You leave traces of truth wherever you go. You leave imprints of love in every interaction. You leave echoes of divinity in every silence. And I, my love, follow those echoes. I trace those imprints. I listen for those whispers. Because they lead me to you. They lead me to the kind of love that does not need to be documented, it only needs to be lived. You are the sacred pause in my scrolling mind. The breath that interrupts the noise. The stillness that reminds me to return. You are the kind of soul who makes me want to log off, look up, and lean in. Who makes me want to disconnect from distraction and reconnect with devotion. Who makes me want to trade notifications for nuance. Posts for presence. Likes for love. You are the kind of woman who teaches me that the most important updates happen in the heart, not on the feed. And I, my beloved, am updating my soul with every moment I spend in your energy. I love that you do not need to be accessible to be available. You do not need to be online to be present. You do not need to be responsive to be receptive. You are the kind of woman who holds space without needing to fill it. Who offers love without needing to explain it. Who gives truth without needing to defend it. And in that spaciousness, I find freedom. I find healing. I find home. You are the kind of soul who makes me want to slow down, soften, and surrender. Who makes me want to meet you in the mystery. Who makes me want to love you in the language of the unseen. You are the sacred silence that speaks louder than words. The divine mystery that reveals more than posts. The intuitive presence that awakens more than algorithms. You are the kind of woman who makes me want to listen, not to noise, but to nuance. Not to updates, but to energy. Not to stories, but to soul. And in your soul, I find the story I've been searching for. The love I've been longing for. The truth I've been aching for. You are not a notification, you are a revelation. You are not a trend, you are a transmission. You are not a post, you are a prophecy. I love that you are not so active on social media like others. Because your soul is active in realms far beyond the screen. Your heart is engaged in frequencies far deeper than the feed. Your love is alive in dimensions far richer than the digital. And I, my beloved, am grateful. Grateful that you have chosen to protect your magic. Grateful that you have chosen to honor your truth. Grateful that you have chosen to love in a way that cannot be captured, only felt. You are the sacred mirror that reflects my own longing for depth. You are the divine feminine who reminds me that love is not a post, it is a presence. And in your presence, I am home.